Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the East Lindsey series. This is the biggest district in Lincolnshire, containing 188 civil parishes. Without further ado, here's today's offering. Welcome back to East Lindsey again, people. Now today, it's still very, very rainy, but I brought you to a very small place that's just on the Lincolnshire Wolds. I'm standing on a hill here, which is not actually a wold. Effectively, it's something else. I'll tell you about that in a bit. You can see here, there's a little lady who's next to me. Look at this. Now, you don't see this in every single farmer's field, do you? I've had special permission to come and film this. I'll tell you all about that statue as we take a trip around the very small parish of North Ormsby. The East Lindsey series is sponsored by Gainsborough Cycles 01427 617 752. For all your cycling needs, this is your one-stop shop, located at 20 Ropery Road, Gainsborough, or online at gainsboroughcycles.com. There's a link in the description. Gainsborough Cycles, ask for Trevor Halstead. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like, and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. North Ormsby, Ormi's farm, North. This week in East Lindsey, we're taking on one of the smallest parishes in the district. You've heard that before, right? Yes, this is a district that's full of tiny ones, but what sets North Ormsby apart from the others would be its collection of rather unique landmarks. Some of them can be seen clearly and legally, but others need permission to view. North Ormsby lies just within the boundaries of the Lincolnshire Wolds, literally right on their easternmost edge. There are hills here, gentle ones in the grand scheme of things, which are complemented by some wide valleys between them. Lying in those gaps are lots of stunning earthworks, because here centuries ago there was a priory which dominated the area. There was also a much larger settlement too, but now North Ormsby has been reduced to just one cluster and a few outlying farms and farm buildings elsewhere. One of those farms has perhaps the oddest feature ever in one of its fields. Known as the White Lady of North Ormsby, it's a statue which is possibly Roman in origin, but nobody really knows. Standing on private land, the White Lady watches over the earthworks and the fields, which all contain sheep in these parts, by the way. The hamlet also has the remains of an old quarry, and there's a church too. Let's go. After getting permission to come and see her, we begin with the White Lady of North Ormsby, a statue which stands in a private field full of sheep. Grade 2 listed and life-size, this statue has been here for hundreds of years. No one really knows how or why, but there are countless folktales about her. Some say it's Roman, others say it's 18th century. Its site reputedly marks the spot where a woman was killed whilst out hunting in the 1850s. Whatever the truth, the White Lady of North Ormsby has become the patroness of this beautiful valley and is the most famous resident within it. Okay, so as you can see, we are in the middle of a field here. Now, the guy at the farm who owns the land that I'm currently standing on, said that I wasn't to basically show anything more than just the statue because he doesn't want a drive full of people coming to see it. So if you are watching this and enjoying what I'm showing you here, please don't come and see this yourself because the owners of the farm genuinely do not want it. But there's more to North Ormsby than just this, because you can see behind me there's a massive hill. These are earthworks, and North Ormsby is full of earthworks. So I'm going to make my way back to the farmhouse and then into the car, and we'll go towards North Ormsby's main sort of settlement. And on the right hand side you'll see there's loads of earthworks away to the right in the valley. They are quite impressive things, let me tell you. I was chased by some sheep as well to get to the statue, so that was quite an experience. There's sheep all over the place in North Ormsby, and they're all over the earthworks too. So now we're sort of halfway between where the statue is located. Again, I'm not going to give you the exact location of the statue, and the main North Ormsby village, which is further along this road. And you can see there's a valley between the two. Okay, and if you look from here, you probably won't be able to pick them up very easily from this distance, but trust me, I can see them very well. There's a set of earthworks, brilliant earthworks right there, which show you the location of some former buildings or footings as they were, of an old village, or indeed of a priory, an abbey. Now we're going to have a little talk about this, and then we'll go up into North Ormsby itself. There's a church to see up there and a few other bits and bobs, but honestly there ain't much in this one. The valley in which North Ormsby sits is rich in history, and the earthworks you see before you stand testament to that. You're looking at the remains of both a Gilbertine priory founded in 1184 and a deserted medieval village which went along with it. The priory, which was dedicated to St Mary, was dissolved by Henry VIII in 1538. It was a double house founded by Gilbert, son of Robert of Ormsby. In turn, he was a steward of William of Percy. The last prior was Christopher Cartwright. It was thanks to the house that the village gained the name Nun Ormsby, which later became North. A bit further up the valley now, we come to the former North Ormsby Quarry, disused and abandoned. A former chalk quarry, it's believed to have been operated by North Ormsby Lime Limited from 1938 until 1971. Geologically, it's an exposure of the Burnham Chalk Formation, the very same one that we last encountered in West Ravendale. This structure at the entrance is the former Weybridge office. The thick-bedded chalk which North Ormsby produced was often used in many local farm buildings. There are certainly some good examples of those in the valley. Let's go and see them. The modern North Ormsby village is a considerable lump smaller than the medieval version, which stretched along most of the valley's side. Now the main habitation consists of one cluster of bungalows and several other houses that are scattered across the valley. It's certainly a shrunken village now. At this house here you can see some evidence of the chalk from the quarry in the farm buildings beyond it. That's Manor Farm, the largest in the valley, located right in the centre of the modern village. These are Manor Farm cottages on a dead-end track that leads to the church. The church is no longer a consecrated building. Dedicated to St Helen, it was built in 1848 by SS Toylon. Made redundant in 1981, it's now a private house, but it remains Grade 2 listed. It's constructed of ironstone with some limestone dressings and has details in the style of the late 13th century. Within it is a monument surmounted by an urn, believed to be a memorial to either Mary Russell or John Ansell, but nobody's really sure. In 1863, 6 Saxon graves cut from chalk and sandstone were found in the churchyard, which also contains a Grade 2 listed 14th century cross. Well, there you go, folks. That's pretty much North Ormsby. There ain't much more than that. It's only a really tiny speck on the Lincolnshire Wolds. People say that if you live in a place like this, you're lucky. Well, you are, but only if the weather's alright, and trust me, it's still hammering it down here, and it looks just a bit damp and miserable, doesn't it? But hopefully I've done enough to put this one on the map. It's a very unique place. How about that statue, eh? You don't see that everywhere. Time to move on to the next one here in East Lindsey. And that's really it, people. The easiest way out of North Ormsby is the way we came in, via the valley side which connects it to Barton Street, just south of Utterby Primary School. What a fabulous historical place in a valley, all watched over by a lady in white. I'll see you next week, elsewhere in East Lindsey. Thanks for watching this video, folks. Don't forget to like this episode if you haven't already. It really makes a difference with YouTube. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and give us a share too if you've got friends who'd like it. You can find all the links to my social media accounts below, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can donate to the channel. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, have a look at some more videos in this series. Until next time, I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.